Awesome. Check one is working. I'm Nathan Friedman, Chief Marketing Officer and co-president of Understood.org. Excited to be here today to talk not only about neurodiversity, but a bit more about Understood and why we believe the future is neurodiverse. So I want to start with a quick poll. Show of hands if you personally know somebody or yourself that is neurodivergent. That means somebody with ADHD, dyslexia, I don't have to go through all these, an autism spectrum disorder. That's amazing. I don't see any hands not up. If your hand wasn't up, raise your hand. But I also must say that ASD, autism, is not caused by either Tylenol or circumcision. So I just wanted to make that clear on the upfront before we start getting into stuff. Because if you believe that, there's an opportunity for you to get coffee upstairs. I think that one of the reasons why everybody is talking about neurodiversity and ADHD is because there's a lot more awareness, right? And there's new research that uncovers new ways to identify, new technologies that have enabled people to live their lives more fuller, and greater visibility across social and media platforms alike. And we're at an inflection point, really, that says, is neurodiversity really diversity, or is it really divergence that is the new normal? So first, let's ground ourselves in what neurodiversity is. Neurodiversity is the concept that every brain is wired differently. And those differences have complete strengths, opportunities, and they are not deficits, which is an important thing to understand. And this is not a niche issue. What we see is around 20% of the population in America, that's 1 in 5, right, is born with a lifelong learning and thinking difference. That's 70 million people in the US alone. And that is the same number as every single resident of California, Texas, and Florida combined. That's a large number of people. However, our recent research, done by our head of research over here, has indicated that this is significantly low. Our recent data shows that 53% of Gen Z identifies as neurodivergent. That's 53%. And when you go to industry specific, we know the creative industry, for example, is 48% identifying as neurodivergent. So is that really divergent, or is this really something more of a spectrum? Because no two neurodivergent conditions manifest the same in anybody. So today, what we can say confidently is there is a greater need to support the neurodivergent kids, as well as parents and teachers, throughout the early life and school years, the more formidable years. But also, for all of us here who are in the workplace, some way, shape, or form, opportunities exist to ensure each of us can thrive, not only at home, but at work and at life. So as you can see, neurodiversity is not something we can ignore anymore. It's our new normal, and why we feel the future is neurodiverse, and also the future of business is neurodiverse. And one stat before I get into a little bit more, which has just happened, is that Gen Z is now outnumbering baby boomers in the workforce. They are the future of work, and if they're identifying as 53% neurodivergent, what can we do to help everybody thrive? And that's what Understood is here to do. Understood is an organization that supports those who learn and think differently. We are on a mission to shape the world for difference so every individual can thrive. And we are a leading social impact organization that is really at the intersection of neurodiversity and behavioral health. We launched about 12 years ago, supporting primarily families, children, and educators with tools and resources that have expanded over the years. Today, we recently expanded to supporting adults and reach more than 20 million people annually across our website, app, our podcast network, social media, and our growing partnership network. We focus on scaling and delivering impact with expert-vetted resources. What we do is backed by clinicians and supported through clinicians. And we also have clinically proven impact, meaning that our products deliver the impact that we think that they do and hope that they do, and we now know they do. And there's a lot of work ahead of us to change behaviors and have positive outcomes for every individual. So when you look at this, right, there is a clear benefit for engaging neurodivergent individuals at work, which is more than half of your workforce, right? Research shows that businesses can authentically engage neurodivergent individuals, and there is a clear business outcome. When you do, there's a dramatic increase in innovation and adoption of new skills. You solve more complex problems more quickly, and you can go to market with new innovations at a much higher pace. There's lower turnover, right? There's higher company satisfaction. There's more engagement, and those are all metrics that are critically important for a lot of HR functions. And more importantly, there's also greater productivity, right? When you have a greater engaged workforce that feels like they're included, more happens. And that translates to both top line and bottom line growth for companies, but it also translates to an opportunity for every individual to feel like they belong at work and show up as their true self. So that's the great opportunity that exists. But is that reality? Unfortunately, it's not today. A recent study we also conducted found that 82% of neurodivergent adults, so 82 of the 53 say that they feel pressure to mask or conform. And they do not feel comfortable with asking for the help they need, which are called formally accommodations, which is a legal term, but they can be as simple as a monitor, sitting away from an elevator, or even sitting near light. Those are not accepted in most organizations. And that leads to a 2 times higher dropout, whether it's in school, or significantly higher unemployment rates for those who are neurodivergent, and this must change, right? If we're thinking about the future of work, we're thinking about the future of all of us working together. How can we really help all of us work together? So we need your help. There are things that you can do today that will help everyone in your life, whether it's yourself, whether it's a colleague, a friend, or even whether it's a child in your family, or a niece or nephew, or even a partner of yours, or husband or wife. Take a moment and visit Understood for tools and support that you can give out free. This is just free information. And everything we do, by the way, is free. Share our mission and vision with other people in your networks, and take steps to just have that initial thought of what can I do differently that may be needed to engage somebody who learns and thinks differently. It could be as easy as sending a pre-readout before a meeting, creating space for someone to think, pausing for a few seconds to have somebody catch up in a meeting where they may have trouble processing. AI can help, right? And that's a huge enabler. But it's also up to all of us to have these tools provided to everybody, because the concept of universal design, which is if you design for the most marginalized, it helps everybody, that concept applies here. So that's a quick summary of understood.org and the challenges ahead. We only had a few minutes together. So for more information on things for work, things for you, a lot of other data and information, we put a QR code up here for you to scan. And appreciate all your time, and I hope we all get a chance to work together to help every individual thrive. Thank you.